Welcome back to day 2 of Skate Around in Namur, Belgium. So it is Vienna Roller Derby versus Glasgow Roller Derby. So the rosters that we have for Vienna, we have Betty Boom, we have Always Ultra, Legendary, Mary Demolition, Moloko Violet, Italian Stallion, Syntax, Sabotage, Vanderstorm, Honey Badger, November Pain, Bitch Buchanan and Spin the Lotto.
And hi there, Dork Mistress.
Hiya!
Hiya, nasty moves here, sure said. Hiya. Everything good. Glasgow Roller Derby here as well. We're going to have 1-0 Sarah McGetton, 1-4 Shona Mercy, 1-6-8 Janie Bones, 3-4-7 Sugar Plum Fury, 4 Stripey, 4-2 Marshall Lawless, 4-0-7 Phoenix, 5-5 Cardinal Spin, 5-9 Hadrian's Brawl, 6 X Mental, 6-3-3 Stinger Bell, 7 Sarah McMillan, 7-3-7 Libby O'Day, 3-2-8 Carla Viola, and last but not least, Nuke.
So this is one of the 2 final games that's going to settle this tournament. Glasgow Roller Derby, the bottom ranked team coming into this tournament, had 2 fantastic games yesterday with close losses, but are still on 2 losses. Vienna, bit of the upset of the tournament, so
true.
Win against Lutece and then a win against Namur, both higher ranked teams on WFTDA. And against the flat track stats predictions, sorry, just bit my own tongue there. And so Vienna having a great day yesterday. They will be looking to win this. If they win this, they win the tournament. Glasgow, if they win this, they go into contention for 2nd place.
Yeah, and like you said, so that's that would mean that Glasgow is a winner in their own right, of course, moving up in that.
Yeah.
And we have to watch the game to find out. We don't have any choices. I heard that you just had a wonderful interview with one of the fear leaders.
Yes, yeah, that is one of my life goals ticked off.
Did you buy a calendar is the big question.
Not yet.
I took pictures of it and I threw it around, so we're very, very happy to have. That's kind of cool, actually. They're very unique.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they won everybody's hearts in Manchester.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah. So this game will decide who wins the tournament, which is going to be interesting. It's either going to be Vienna or it will be somebody else.
That's how we're playing it. Okay, yeah. Vienna, the team in blue and with a little bit of accents of orange. Glasgow playing in black with yellow accents.
Yeah. So gameplay about to start.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Time to Derby 3, 2, 1, and we're off to the races.
Would help if I put my right glasses on. I can't actually see anything right now.
I'll tell you what, I can fill you in if you want.
That would be helpful.
Moloko Violet, Shona Mercy, those are your 2 jammers. And it is Moloko Violet of Vienna Roller Derby who has the lead. I've seen a lot of that this weekend. I know what that feels like.
So Glasgow unable to provide defense and offense at the same time, letting Moloko Violet out. But we have a star pass by Glasgow to Marshall Lawless. So both jammers out of the pack, but Moloko having completed a scoring pass.
And look how fast that pack is now. We're going to slow it down just the right place as Moloko Violet comes in. Oh, that was an ooh moment. There was a collision at the last second while Moloko Violet was calling it off, though.
And Marshall Lawless has picked up a contact penalty for that hit.
Had a feeling. A late hit. I would call it a late. Yeah. You're a ref too. I would call it a late hit, learning how to train a bit.
No
hard
we didn't
feelings.
Hear the verbal cue. We only saw it. We know it's a contact penalty.
Oh, I love hanging out with you. That was great. Quick points though. 8 points then for Vienna and no points for Glasgow at the minute, as they would say in your country.
So we're having a quick official timeout. I think they're just chatting through what happened in that last jam.
Yeah, that was it avoidable, unavoidable? Yeah, I think we're going to discuss how we feel about that penalty. So we will only give you the information that we do have. I'd like to recap really quickly that when Vienna played their first game against Lutece Destroyers Les Encastreurs, that was 228 to 155, to give you an idea. Vienna also won against Namur yesterday to the tune of 187 to magically another 155. So that'll give you an idea in any case of the Vienna side of things.
Yep. And we are just getting underway, so no action as a result of that official timeout. So we have, it is Lawless jamming for Glasgow, but starting with a power start. That's the word I was looking for.
Power jam. No, power jam is what you have in the morning when you do derby.
So it's a power start for Vienna. Honey Badger jamming and has got lead and completed a 5-point scoring pass.
Happy to see Honey Badger here today too. Took a bit of a tumble yesterday, but was ready to play here today. Coming into the back of the pack, but
Lawless has been released from the box and is approaching the pack on their initial scoring pass, just as Honey Badger gets out to pick up the 5.
5 definitely in the sky there for Vienna. They know how that works too, and all kinds of a mess. Look at that. A lot of falling around. I don't know, maybe the game is a bit more aggressive, which is good news for these two teams, because we are playing for all the marbles, of course, as you mentioned.
And I think what we saw in play yesterday is Glasgow are an incredibly physical team. And I think Vienna have decided not to be afraid of that and to try and match up to it, which is, you know, which is always thrilling to watch. But that was 14 points for Vienna, taking them to 22. Glasgow yet to get off the 0. But 2.5 minutes into the game, and it's already a lot going on.
there's a whole lot going on too. I've got some great rumors too we can throw in. Vienna wants to do a tournament one of these days. I think we should all get together and go to Vienna.
Can you imagine?
It's a rumor though, unconfirmed.
Can you imagine if we had a tournament in Vienna with the FIA leaders able to show off in more than just one game?
I will keep you posted on that, you as in everyone in Derbyland, because I've never been to Vienna and I want to go. Doing the rounds though, that's going to be Spin the Lotto, which did some jamming yesterday, mostly at the end of a game, so it's nice to see her at the beginning of one.
And has lead, but it was number 347, Sugar Plum Fury for Glasgow, who forced that call off, but 4 points for Vienna.
And while you were doing that, I noticed that both pivots were in the box for teams. So we are getting, it's easy to say we're getting a lot of penalties. I have a feeling I'm hearing a lot of whistling that's not the lead. So I will take the sound of whistling as being not so good. And the sound of coughing is not good either.
Yeah, sorry.
Take good care of yourselves. We're working hard here all weekend.
Yeah, you relax on the sofa with a cup of tea and some nice biscuits while we get underway. And this is jam for Moloko Violet jamming for Vienna lead. And we have for Glasgow.
That's going to be Glasgow on a power jam.
Oh, so it wasn't.
Oh, and I'm going to explain. They called it, not seeing that Moloko Violet went to the box. Moloko Violet's still trying to figure out what was wrong. They were sent for a undisclosed penalty, let's call it that. And that power jam start confusion.
And that showed because Moloko was initially called as lead, but then the penalty was assessed.
Yeah.
And it was assessed to have happened before the lead was called.
Because that's why the lead had to change at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. True. It's one of those very technical things that unless you're watching every single second, you don't always pick up. So it is Moloko Violet jamming from the box, but has a full 30 seconds, which has enabled Libby or Die to get out as lead.
Yeah, doing a lot of that yesterday as well for Glasgow.
Yeah.
I mentioned that name quite a bit. The 737 it is, looking for a sweet spot, gets it on the inside. Oh, does get some business there from Vanderstorm, number 616.
That was some great hip one-on-one blocking from Vanderstorm.
Absolutely. No slow butts.
No,
fast butts.
But Libby or Die has made the most of that 30 seconds. Moloko Violet released from the box, back on track on the initial pass. But Libby or Die and on a second scoring pass, hit out and recycled to turn 2.
Yeah, Moloko Violet, though, trying to get out of there, goes for a bit of a stash. And I may believe that's probably one of the first times I saw her do that this weekend. So they're back in the saddle, so to speak. This jam seems to be quite long. Libby, though, picking up another 5 for Glasgow. And I say another 5 because, yeah, they're the first few points that are being put on the board. So that's good news for them, getting into the game.
Yes, Glasgow off the 0. And we have 50 seconds left in this jam, but it is Libby or Die as lead who has the opportunity to call it. And is letting the jam run long.
Yeah, didn't see too much of that as well. That's also a new development. Both jammers fighting it out. Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah, and however, Glasgow still gesturing for the jam to go long. So they're having confidence in the blockers, but Moloko Violet gets through, but Libby or Die has picked up a back block, so this will now go the full 2 minutes.
It's so complicated. The full Monty.
But if it wasn't complicated, we wouldn't have a job.
Oh God, you always know the right thing to say at the right time. That's fantastic, fantastic superhero talent. Oh, I can't look at this, people. It's going to be a forearm penalty at the end of the jam for Moloko Violet. Man, I hope you're all watching this with popcorn because this is serious. Look, they're going to go, hey, you came in too? Yeah, I had a canoe. So you're going to say, oh, yeah, well, mine was a backlog. Yeah, but I'm going to go out first. So
what will happen now is that Libby or Die will be released at the whistle at the start of the jam, and then Moloko Violet will serve as long as Libby or Die has served.
Absolutely.
And will be released, so that won't be the full 30 seconds.
Nope.
But 18 points for Vienna in that last jam, but 14 for Glasgow, 44 now playing 14. Libby or Die is released from the box and faces that full wall of Vienna blockers, getting some offense from number 507, Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix broke that party up really good.
Yeah.
Libby still got taken out, will be recycled, and that's going to cost someone a penalty as well. And now Moloko Violet back from the box on the track too as well. Libby, of course, has the lead. Both jammers are there, and we've thinned out the pack there. The Serengeti has a little less gazelles.
Yes, so we have 2 Vienna blockers in the box, 1 Glasgow, and that has had an impact, but Libby or Die was unable to get past that wall of 2 remaining Vienna blockers, and so called the jam.
Good forced call off then on their point too as well.
So we will start with a small pack, so we have still 1 Glasgow blocker in the box, 2 Vienna blockers, and we have on the jam line Shona Mercy from Glasgow up against Honey Badger, 2 of the most exciting jammers I've been watching this weekend.
I've mentioned their names a lot, and I'll say it just one last time. Nice to see Honey Badger again after taking a bit of a tumble yesterday. People asked me, is she okay? She's very much okay.
I think we can see that from the gameplay already.
Yeah, thank you very much for stating the obvious. Thank you. There must be strudel in the box because there's a lot of visiting there, which does mean that both these teams really want to win. Yeah. I think that's the message we're getting here.
Yeah, I mean Glasgow. We had an interview that unfortunately the audio was broken at the time.
Sadly,
but they said they've already exceeded their expectations for this tournament. But they are still going to want to win today.
That's fantastic to hear. Shona Mercy is doing what her name says. And great offense again, but once Vienna gets in front of you, it's really hard to pass. Look at now. Yep. They're trying to get some help, trying to go through. That is really tight. Yeah,
but Honey Badger has exited the pack on her initial pass and has the helmet cover back on. But the jam, understandably, gets called by Shona Mercy, and it is 5 points for Glasgow. Closing down that gap, 22 points now, playing 46 with 10 minutes into this game. And from the stats and all the yesterday, you would not expect this to be as close as it is.
I know, and that's the reason why roller derby is not just a numbers game, which is fantastic. So we want to just have a good look at what's going on the track and the stories and the... Derby is more than the sum of its bearings, kind of thing is what I'm trying to say. Yep. Spin the lotto for the second time, jamming, but as I say that, the lead is going to go to Glasgow, and that is Cardinal Spin doing it to it for said team.
Cardinal Spin having a great tournament this weekend, but Vienna have responded by a star pass. It is now Always Ultra who is jamming for Vienna, approaching the pack on a point-scoring pass. And so Cardinal Spin calls the jam. And that is 4 points for Glasgow. And we did see this in the games yesterday, that they were able to get lead quite often, but were only able to get 1 scoring pass.
True,
when the game is this tight,
you can't have these big long ones.
No.
But I say that, then again, Glasgow just had a jam where they decided to run it long. Yeah. So it's really at the minute discussion. Yeah. How are we going to do, changing it up and making sure that no one can adjust to your game.
Yeah. So on the jam line we have Libby or Die for Glasgow, and it is, I think that's Moloko Violet for Vienna, who is at the back of the pack. Libby or Die out for lead. A big hit out by number 82 for Vienna, who picks up an out-of-play penalty for doing so.
Still was nice. It looked nice. I've said that a lot this week. I said, oh, that looks like a great hit. Oh, she's going to the box. I recognize myself in it. I will assume that right away. We've got Libby doing it to it, but is getting all kinds of push fronts as opposed to push back. Oh, does get to recycle though, so something's going right for Vienna there. And we've got Nuke and friends giving Moloko Violet a lot of trouble. Moloko Violet, you can also recognize when they have the helmet cover off, has that purple helmet. Yeah. Helps us see it quite well.
But this
too.
is fantastic defense from Glasgow.
Fantastic.
I mean, what we've seen in the games yesterday is that their ability to keep that three wall together is phenomenal. But both jammers out of the pack and having a bit of argy-bargy.
Okay.
But I think Moloko Violet's the one who's happy for it.
Oh,
Libby O'Dye just wants to get the points.
Yeah.
And calls the game to deny any points for Vienna, but that is 10 points for Glasgow. So oh no, 2 points for,
yeah, I had to say so, because Moloko went, ha-ha, with a big smile, went to the box. But it's nice to say that Libby listened to their coach very quickly. Yes.
So 10 points for Glasgow in that jam, 2 points for Vienna. So it's 36 points for Glasgow, 48 for Vienna. So that's just 12 points between the two teams.
Power jam away.
We're nearly halfway through the first half.
Where'd the time go?
And we have timeout called by Vienna. So yeah, what a first 13 minutes.
That is absolutely something else.
And I think, you know, we saw consistently strong Glasgow defence, and what we did see then was teams adapt to the Glasgow defence and that physicality.
And change them around
and change it around.
Yeah. And a lot of pirouetting, a lot of twirling around, less juking. Some barging, obviously, but I even saw Glasgow in the warm-up trying to do the toe stop around the player. So we are looking for different ways of jamming, and that's just part of roller derby. Always trying to find that new technique, that new thing to get us through.
But Vienna will have watched Glasgow over the last 2 days, after the last two games yesterday. Will have a view around how they think they can sort of break up that defence, and I think that will be key. If Vienna want to run away with this, which they will, they're going to have to try and break up those walls quicker. And
so more defense, basically.
Yeah, and I think Vienna also need to will want to. You know, Glasgow have had lead a number of times in this game. Yep. Glasgow are very good at getting out, and Vienna will need to work out how they can lock down their jammers, the Glasgow jammer, in that initial pass.
And as you say that too, in this case too, we've got for Glasgow, they have the non-friendly wall to go up against.
Yeah.
And that will make life easier at the moment, possibly for Vienna. Vienna does rely a lot on their jammers.
Yeah.
And you can't have good jammers without good blockers. So the blockers are going to be something we're probably both going to look at a lot more seriously. And then they need to all keep out of the box.
So, Shona Mercy on the jam line for Glasgow. Honey Badger for Vienna. Honey Badger blasts through to pick up lead in, what, 2 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. Blast through. Important. Honey Badger with all the energy of the morning. Look, the twist and turn around, bit of a tumble though, but still Vienna blocking till they absolutely can.
But Shona Mercy was showing the blockers no mercy, pushing them all the way out to turn 2 and then pushing them out of play, and is out of the pack, forcing Honey Badger to call off that jam. Yeah, Vienna need to hold back the Glasgow jammers, because Glasgow are forcing Vienna to only have single pass jams.
Yeah, which means that they can creep back up on them. Yeah. And that is going to change when, and I say when, not if, when the next power jam comes up.
Yep. So 4 points for Vienna, 52 points now playing 36, 16 points between the two teams, 16 and just under 17 minutes left in this first half.
And let's get even into it now. We've got the Vienna jammer spin the lotto behind the non-friendly wall, the enemy wall, and that's going to make an actual difference in gameplay. Right now, Glasgow trying to keep it all together. There is some offense being done if we just look at that small part of the game. But look, Cardinal Spin said, you know, you guys do wall stuff, I'm going to do lead.
But Spin the Lottle also out chasing down Spin. So
lots of spins. Sorry.
So Spin gets into the pack. Spin the Lottle approaches the pack. So Spin calls the jam. Oh, that's confusing.
I know, it's great because spin and in, and you make puns without knowing it. It's like I'm a poet and I don't know it, but you're making 54 points though total now for Vienna, 36 though for Glasgow.
This is probably the 5th or 6th or longer jam in a row where it's been a single pass between the two. And
so we want more multiple scoring passes.
But 1 point picked up by Glasgow. So
37.
Yeah. So it is Moloko Violet jamming for Vienna up against Libby or Die for Glasgow, but it is Moloko out first for lead. Odai, sorry, still in the pack.
And let's look at something way back when there were jammer lap points. There still are. That's going to disappear one day too. Is that going to work out? One blocker down though for Vienna. And we are out of the pack there. That's good news with a bit of a bump to the nose. Libby's still far behind.
Libby going to the penalty box. Yeah, that's a forearms penalty.
No.
But what was interesting is Moloko, although brushing off all those blocks and getting around the blockers, didn't lose any momentum in that pass or this pass that's just happened.
So good at it too.
Yeah.
Makes it look effortlessly. We say that a lot, but it is quite true, especially from our vantage point here up.
So this is Vienna's 3rd scoring pass, and Moloko makes swift work of that. So absolutely maximising this power jam.
Yeah, this is the best one so far, absolutely. See, I called the power jam. I called it.
But to be fair, we still had, 45 minutes of gameplay.
Don't ruin my fun. I'll say strudel again for you.
So Libby or Die out of the penalty box and facing one Vienna blocker left up front. And completes her initial pass. And Moloko Violet on her 4th scoring pass, still in the pack. Looks for Libby or Die, calls the jam.
Yeah, Libby had a thing that took off the helmet cover for a bit, but we spotted her quickly. That was fun. What are we going to do?
And it's a timeout for Glasgow. And while I'm watching the points for Vienna, that was a 20-point jam for Vienna. And this is the challenge. If both teams are just managing single scoring passes, 20 points is 4 jams to try and crawl back.
It's not enough.
5.
It's not a comfortable lead by any shot. It's not.
No, but it's going to make it tougher for this very low scoring game so far.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Sort of for Glasgow to build back up and catch and close that lead back down.
What I've watched this entire weekend with Vienna, if I could see a pattern, is that they managed to get a whole bunch of points very fast, very soon in a game. So I'd say even within the first 8 minutes, and then they just try and hang on to that.
Yeah.
I can't say it's a tactic, but it seems to just be how things have been going very specifically for them this weekend. I could probably say something else about Glasgow. Been looking a lot at Vienna this weekend. Possibly you have more about Glasgow. You said choosing when to run it long and when to just shut it down.
Yep, I think.
And their defense, of course, we mentioned as well.
For me, Glasgow, it's been about their defense.
You do know them quite well, I imagine. In your neck of the woods, you get to see them play.
No,
in the
actually,
UK often, not so much?
No. So I live in Wales, and so I tend to see games in the south of England.
Okay. Glasgow played Amsterdam last year, if I'm not mistaken. That was, but I mostly remember the after party, which we won't get into.
Yep.
So Vienna saw them play in Milan and a few other places around the world. That is fantastic work. Show no mercy, picking up the lead for Glasgow.
Yeah. Show no mercy, absolutely key to the Glasgow jammer rotation, and has shown why all weekend. But Honey Badger showing why. Unfortunately, picking up a cut track penalty as she exited the pack. So this is now a power jam to Glasgow, which is an opportunity for them to close this gap back down.
That's what I want to watch. That's going to be the story to develop. Getting through. Oh, more penalties. No, cut track. Yeah, cut track penalty.
For Shona.
Oh, no.
So we're going to have what I call jammer hokey cokey.
Yeah, it's gonna. We're
jammer
gonna
goes
swap
in,
around.
jammer goes out, and
we call it the hokey pokey, by the way, in America. They call it that in America. Just
that's rude.
It's like walkie talkie, talkie walkie. It's rude. Okay,
it's rude.
Back to the track. Back to the track where the actual Honey Badger it is. Look at that. I just said their name, and they're out of the pack for the initial pass, and it's all about the scoring pass and all about what Shona Mercy's going to do if and when they come out of the
Shona
box.
is just been released from the box, so Honey Badger, having been able to complete that scoring pass, hasn't completed the scoring pass during the power jam.
Shona is through. but didn't do the helmet thing, the helmet hokey cokey.
But had already got 4 points from that pass before she went into the bin, so that was clever tactics. That's knowing how many blockers you've already passed.
That is very good.
But both jammers now have completed scoring passes. Honey Badger approaching for her second scoring pass, so both jammers now on second scoring passes. And both jammers, both jammers having trouble, but Honey Badger pushes through. Oh, and that's
almost takeouts, but there's good chasing there work.
But also good knowledge of 20 feet by number 823 from Glasgow.
Yeah, we saw
Caraviola.
You got the number, and I can Caraviola. Yeah, I mentioned the player quite a bit yesterday as well. Yeah, that 20. Yeah, you don't want to get those out of play penalties and stuff. You know, they're just annoying.
But that was good work by Caraviola because held her up for a second or two extra, but didn't get the penalty. You know, didn't create a penalty for herself.
Slowed down the jammer, to be honest, because if you know a blocker's coming for you, you can't avoid the hit by avoiding it. You have to kind of
slow
judge.
down.
So you slow down by doing that. Spin the lotto and cardinal spin are double spins. Casino jokes all around, but both of them are out. So that is by no means derby roulette.
No, and spin the lotto showing why you practice laps. Because
fast laps.
She was faster than Cardinal Spin.
Did run into the back of Nuke though. That's not somewhere you want to go.
And so had no choice but to call the jam because she was on the floor and Cardinal Spin was approaching at full speed. But did pick up 2 points for Vienna. So 85 points now playing 45 with 10 minutes 50 seconds left in this half.
Very tight.
Very tight.
We were talking about a 20-second point difference. Now we're talking about a 41.
Still
41 difference. Still,
Still completely changeable. No, this game is not won yet. Moloko Violet coming out as lead jammer. And it is Sugar Plum Fury, I believe, who was hit out but managed to stay in bounds and is out of the pack. Approaching the pack for a scoring pass, so Moloko Violet calls the jam.
Last second direct. That was funny. Wonder Zebra, one of the refs here from Vienna, gave a penalty to someone from his own team and had a bit of a laugh about it. We recognize a lot of the people here. I'm very proud to say that both jam refs are actually from Amsterdam Roller Derby, where I'm from, so that's kind of cool.
Are you really from Amsterdam Roller Derby?
I can't talk back to you with using bad language, so that's good.
But it was 4 points for Vienna, but 1 for Glasgow in that last jam. On the jam line this time, Honey Badger up against Shona Mercy again. Honey Badger taking the honest lead jammer. Shona Mercy still stuck behind the pivot line, using a blocker as a battering ram, gets through.
Look how fast Honey Badger is coming in though for a pass and does an apex jump. Oh, I felt it. That was so good. But Glasgow was just really busy with the other blockers in the meantime.
Shona,
beautiful.
Vienna, though, in a bit of blocker disadvantage. 2 blockers in the bin. Glasgow have 1 blocker in the bin, but 1 Vienna, 1 Glasgow blocker are standing. But that still gives Glasgow the blocker advantage. 4 points for Vienna in that last jam, taking them to 93 points. Just over 9 minutes left in this half. On the jam line, we have Libby or Die up against number 910, who is...
I should know this, and we should know this where it is. We can see.
Oh no, it's not.
Let's have a look. No, it's going to be.
Spin the lotto.
It's Spin the Lotto again. Yeah, indeed. I was looking for Italian Stallion to do any jamming, but I haven't mentioned that name just yet, so that's not quite happening. Oh, already a multiplayer block penalty given to the pivot, which means no funny stuff then with the helmet cover. Although I doubt that's going to happen.
But also Vienna still at that blocker disadvantage, which has let Libby or Die through for Glasgow to get lead. First time in a few jams for Glasgow. Vienna had the lead momentum for a while, but Libby or Die has been consistently successful at lead.
But making use of the chaos too, like just kind of keeping it cool jamming. And that's going to be Spin the Lotto, that taken off the helmet cover, still got through. Look, Libby is just fighting with everything there.
Yep, but gets the 4 points and calls the jam.
Yeah.
So great work from Vienna to only allow that single scoring pass.
Yeah, so we're going to add more points. So I'm going to see a 51 now on the board for Glasgow and 93 going towards that 100 mark then for a Vienna Roller Derby.
Yeah, got less than 8 minutes to go. So on the jam line we have Cardinal Spin up against...
That's going to be Moloko Violet.
It is Moloko Violet, yeah.
Yeah.
So and the pack is right at the jam line, so both jammers in the scrum, but it is Moloko Violet who comes out first for lead.
Beautifully done too, very busy, just keeping, and also just the whole time just looking, where's the other jammer, where's the other jammer? The other jammer's on their initial pass, of course, at spin stuck in traffic, and look at that, no loss of momentum either.
No
beautifully done on
obstruction
the,
for Moloko Violet.
No obstruction at all.
So just a simple skate through for 5 points.
No detours, just arrows straight through, one unidirectional.
Again. And I think this is Glasgow just getting so obsessed with providing offense.
Yeah, and stretching out. It is hard to provide offense though when you don't have all your blockers on the track. 2 blockers in the box right now for Glasgow. Not a good position to be.
But Cardinal Spin is out of the pack on her initial pass. And just as Moloko Violet sees the danger and calls the jam, so Spin looking for the apex jump.
Yeah, we saw one already.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
landed the wheels before the last of the first four whistles. So that was great work from Cardinal Spin, picking up 4 points, but 14 for Vienna. 107 now playing 55. 6.5 minutes left to go in this half.
Yesterday, and we saw an apex jump that one of the players had passed 2 players before doing the apex jump, didn't land the apex jump, but still got 2 points. We're all excited. That's because the timing was absolutely perfect to at least pick up those 2 points. So there's all kinds of apex jumps available to you.
Yep. Honey Badger up against Shona Mercy. So both teams' rotations with the same number of jammers pretty much. And it is Honey Badger who gets out for lead.
Yeah, Honey Badger is also having a look. I see a star pass there happening on the Glasgow side of things. That's going to be number 42, Marsha Lawless, picking it up for Glasgow.
Yeah. So,
and the jam ends.
Yeah.
Didn't want to ruin spoilers.
So that was another big jam for Vienna. It's 18 points, 4 points for Glasgow. And this is where Vienna is starting to pile on the pressure and to build that lead with that odd multiple pass jam.
It's like the layers of the strudel.
Yeah. Oh, I'm never going to live this down, okay? I like strudel.
I love strudel too.
I love strudel.
I do too.
I love strudel with custard.
Can we go? So they need to call it the strudel cup if they do something. And we're telling you that Honey Badger already in the lead. If we believe the scoreboard, that is so fast and fantastic. Marsha Lawless then somewhere in that game, but no, that's not.
No, I think
Phoenix. No, it's Libby
or Die.
How come we've got all these names? Oh, we had a bit of confusion.
Yeah,
forgive me.
So we were just following the scoreboard, but it is Spin the Lotto jamming for Vienna, and it is Libby or Die who is jamming for Glasgow. Both are out. Spin the Lotto is lead. Oh, Libby or Die is about half the track behind her. Spin the Lotto in the pack for points, and watching Libby or Die and calls the jam. Interesting choice that Spin the Lotto didn't go for that extra point.
I was wondering about that. I was watching the call off there in the corner.
So Spin the Lotto was more interested in watching where Libby or Die was than trying to get another point.
Yeah, they were looking to the inside of the track, right at the Glasgow bench. That was kind of strange,
But it was 3 points for Vienna, so that's still 3 points in the bank, better than giving the other team a chance to score. 114 points playing 55.
4 minutes and change left here. I can't believe, I feel like I've watched a full game already just because of the different things going on, and there's no monotony at all. Wow. Moloko Violet does what they do best, and that's pick up the lead.
Yep. Spin still in the pack, has picked up a cut penalty, so will sit the next 30 seconds out. Moloko Violet got the chance to rack up some points and is actually behind that Glasgow wall for a bit, but gets some offense from her blockers and gets through.
Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, I think what we haven't talked about that I expect to talk about was the Glasgow defense.
Yes, I know you've mentioned it a lot, but I've been watching them a little bit more.
And Vienna aren't letting them.
No, Vienna is, but their jammers are just barging through. And once they split it up, Glasgow just falls apart. So that means there's good offense from Vienna right now.
It's not even that. They actually enclosed the whole Glasgow defense in that last pass.
We call it the calzone.
They absolutely did that. And, you know, great offense from Vienna, but that confusion there has let Spin through. So completing her initial pass. Moloko watching her bench, calls the jam the minute she's asked to.
Yeah, that's good. So that means a good communication.
Yeah.
It was hard, of course, to see spin in the back of the pack, so you can't really look over your shoulder to that. I see no points there in the last scoring passes for both teams. 129 to 55 is what we're watching now. Counting down the minutes before halftime, we're actually 21 jams in. That's quite a bit.
That's a high number of jams.
That's a high number of jams, actually. Yeah.
So we have on the jam line Honey Badger up against Show No Mercy.
Show No Mercy. Dum, dum, dum. Not really in the front. On the outside, it's the magic that is Honey Badger.
And again, I think it was the Glasgow blockers weren't sure whether to do offense or defense and ended up not doing either. And so that has let Honey Badger complete the scoring pass, but Show No Mercy is out. So Honey Badger calls the jam. 4 points for Vienna, taking them to 133. So yeah, I was very surprised there in that sort of initial pass that Glasgow just weren't sure what to do, and it meant that Vienna could pancake them again.
Yeah, that's the pancake thing. We train on that too. Then again, what I'm going to say is that once you realize that that's what's happening to you, at one point your coach is going to go, okay, this keeps happening the whole time. You got to find something to counter it, because there are things, and that's why we watch roller derby, because it has to change. It's really
we're about to go into half-time, and you can bet your bottom dollar that's what the coach is going to be talking about
that's
in
what
the locker
That's what I would want to hear if I was one of the players.
Yeah. So Italian Stallion, who you've been looking forward to jam, is out for Vienna
Number
and
28.
Leeds. But Libby or Die has completed her initial pass. Italian Stallion looking to chase her down, but also waiting to call it off. And there you go, 4 points for Vienna, hitting it and quitting it. Italian Stallion with a little dance at the end as she got to her bench.
Not just that, and I didn't want to ruin it because I didn't want to be sure, but Italian Stallion was doing push-ups before she did that jam. You didn't see that. I was watching. I wasn't quite sure because, again, we have a hard time seeing from far away, but actually did, forgive me, burpees. I'm saying it wrong. A few burpees before doing that jam.
I'm a little bit disgusted.
I knew you would be. That's why I'm telling you about it.
So Moloko Violet was left with that inside line wide open, and so is lead up against Cardinal Spin for Glasgow, who is still in the pack on turn 1.
Yeah, Glasgow taking a little bit of time to get their defense together. And even though they do have good defense, if they take that extra time, that is what is going to be used against them. And that's definitely what Moloko Violet would do and can do. Spin is out in front, but that doesn't mean anything at the moment.
But Moloko Violet has completed a scoring pass and is waiting to call the jam. Calls the jam, gets the 4 points. Thank you.
Does the jam go on the strudel?
In the strudel.
Yeah, custard.
So we are in half time as the period clock has come to an end. So that was a fast and frantic first half.
It was. It felt like a whole entire game.
And I think
beautiful things.
The story was the first 15 minutes, mega close and sort of single passes. But
20 minutes, 20 points, 40 points, and now look at the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Vienna are starting to run away with this game. I'm not entirely sure that the skaters know it's half-time because they're lining
86 points, if I can count properly. Oh, I got it right.
Oh, no, that is half-time. Yeah. So yes, as we were saying, a frantic, fun first half. We've seen lots of action, lots of just
changes in tactics. Moving up, changing the jammers around.
And I've learned a new term, pancaking. So great work by Vienna to sort of completely surround the Glasgow defense and not allow the defense to engage. And that's kind of why we're seeing Vienna run away with the game now. We'll be back in 14 minutes to see the second half of this thrilling game as part of Skate Around 2, hosted by Namur Roller Girls. Welcome back to day 2 of Skate Around, hosted by the lovely Namur Roller Girls. We are halfway through the second game today, the 5th game of the tournament, and it is Vienna Roller Derby up against Glasgow Roller Girls. So I'm Dork Mistress. So nasty moves in the first half. What did we see?
We saw all the jammers being rotated as much as possible. We saw a lot of short jams, so single scoring passes. We saw Glasgow going out of their way when they did get the lead, run jams long, that kind of thing. We saw a mishmash of different things.
Yep.
And I just want to know what we're going to have now.
Yeah.
This is the real question.
So Glasgow kept it really close to Vienna for the first sort of 15-20 minutes, but then Vienna just closed down the Glasgow defence, and that opened up that lead for them of nearly, so you know, it's about 90-point lead. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Glasgow have sort of come together at half-time and decided how to change things up.
I want to see some stronger walls by Glasgow, if I can order that. Look at that, though, still. That is going to be Monaco Violet getting out maybe a second less than usual, but still getting out for the lead for Vienna.
But Libby or Die also out from Glasgow, so half a track away from the pack. That gives Monaco Violet the chance to score 3 points. I think she was a little frustrated that she'd missed the fourth when she pulled it off.
For some reason, we can't hear it, but we can just see it. That's how we actually feel. I'd like to give a shout out to all the people cheering online for Vienna Roller Derby, and not that I know them necessarily more than Glasgow, but they've just been, you know, wondering about how their players have been doing all weekend. They've been
They've been talking to
really
us
nice.
on Twitter.
That too, and they've been very nice to me. So thanks so much for saying the pretty things that you've been saying. I appreciate it.
And if you want to tell us about how fabulous we are, it is #SKAR2 on Twitter, and it is all about us. So please communicate with us and tell us how your day is going and how you're thinking about these games. Show No Mercy out for lead for Glasgow, up against Honey Badger, a pairing that we saw frequently in the first half. Show No Mercy not able to complete multiple scoring passes, but does pick up 3 points. Honey Badger forcing that call off. So that's taking Glasgow to 58 points and Vienna on to 144.
I have to say, so far I'm having a little bit of deja vu.
Yes.
I didn't think you'd laugh at that, though, somehow. And we're going to get back up again. It goes really, really quickly. Italian Stallion. Is that Italian? Yeah, it is number 28. Jamming for the, I believe, second time.
Yep.
Was on heavy rotation. Other games, even that's been changed up. Oh, beautifully done on the inside. Also known as the Autobahn. For that's what. For yeah, okay. Yeah. We laughed. But it's true, easiest way to get around the track.
Yep.
And the track is all coming up. The pack is all spread out too.
Yep. But speeding up, trying. Yeah. So the pack was speeding up. Glasgow were trying to save their points. Vienna was trying to.
What was going on there?
Sort of get a point for their jammer, but wasn't able to.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No?
No, please. Yeah, they weren't able to, but I had to laugh because Italian Stallion called it off right in front of their bench and then just went to the bench as if, like, these people are just rearing ready to go. It's just fantastic.
So we have a pivot line start. No, we have a fake pivot line start.
Of course we do.
This Libby or Die up against Spin the Lotto.
Yeah, and that's Libby in the front dealing with two players. Oh, one player gets a penalty for that. Libby just moving everyone out of the way. Tough time. No, Vienna had both blockers that were out in front of Libby both got sent to the box. That is an interesting development. Libby coming in for a scoring pass.
And so we actually have a queue at the penalty box. So just one Vienna blocker on track, but Libby or Die has picked up a low block penalty.
What's going on there? That means we're going to have longer jam there, happy jam for Spin the Lotto.
Yeah, it will be a 2-minute jam, so both teams have the opportunity to score points. And we still just have 2 Vienna blockers with the pivot now returning to the track. So Glasgow have the blocker advantage and are trying to keep the pack moving.
Yeah, Glasgow, I was looking at the wall they were forming, but look, they had a 4-wall, but for some reason it just didn't work out.
Well, that's because Vienna came in with a train offense right at the time to let Spin the Lotto out. I mean, the Vienna offense timing is exceptional.
Is amazing, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell they train this a lot.
They go in and they push to the either obviously the outside or the inside. Yeah. The outside being a good place to do it in the turn. So we're looking at a lot of tactics too for anyone looking at that level of the game. Super interesting. And that's a 4-on penalty for, oh, bad news. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, okay, for the pivots.
Yep.
I heard a lot of whistles. I'm like a dog right now, apparently chasing down whistles.
Vienna also with a blocker going to the box. So, and a second blocker. So this really is a tough second half of the Vienna blockers.
Possibly with more penalties even off the bat, yeah.
Yep, but we also have Glasgow being sent to the box, 2 blockers. So we now have just 3 blockers left on track.
Where'd everybody go?
Yeah, 633 is going to be he's going to also set the penalty because we have a completely full penalty box.
What's going on? It's full. It's absolutely full. There's no more room at the inn, people. It's done. What happens?
So
I'm confused.
Yeah, and with the jammer penalty as well in this jam, that meant that Vienna scored 9 and Glasgow scored 8. So 153 points, now playing 66, 25 minutes left in this game. And we're starting this jam with just
not many people.
2 Vienna blockers and 1 Glasgow blocker.
The last woman standing. And we're going to switch it up to I'm getting so excited. Oh my lord, what is going on?
And with only 1 blocker on track, it is no surprise that Moleko Violet gets lead.
Yay!
And Shona Mercy also gets through in no time at all. Shona's stride is very effective. It looks a little awkward, but it's incredibly effective.
Yeah, some people just have that special style.
Yeah.
For sure. And as we say that, the jam ends.
Yeah.
Spoilers. 4 points for Vienna in that last scoring pass. I don't see any points for Glasgow. And you know what? I had a feeling it would be time for a timeout. I didn't dare say it. But when there's weirdness, general weirdness going on, have one of those calm down. Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah.
And it happened. This is good. And I'm happy they did that for Glasgow.
I always feel a certain victory that I could be a bench if I go, okay, I would be calling a timeout right now.
You've been a bench though.
Oh, just once or twice.
I've never benched.
Jam.
I like to give people helmet covers. No. So I'd rather skate than.
So while we're in the timeout, a reminder of where we are in the Skate Around 2 tournament. So there is I believe, a shiny cup at the end of this, and this will go to
We haven't touched it yet.
No, we haven't touched it yet. We're waiting for them to bring it out. And
An award show.
Oh yeah, then it's going to be all just full of announcer, petting.
But we'll keep you posted. Do you know more about that? You were saying? Sorry.
Yes. So Vienna are currently in the lead. So if they continue this streak and win this game, they will win the tournament. Glasgow will then come in 4th. However, if Glasgow win, they will go into the battle for 2nd, along with Vienna, and it will be at a point where any of the 4, it will get very confusing. So. No, Glasgow will still come 4th, but it will be that Vienna will go into the battle for 2nd with Vitesse and Namur.
Perfect. Speaking of perfect, Italian Stallion right off the line picks up the lead.
And it's, again, the offense from Vienna not letting Glasgow defend the whole width of the track.
And not even having a chance to reform. I think the reforming is not going fast enough, but there's just constantly a lot of offense. When Glasgow try and pull that trick, by the way, they get caught up in their own wheels.
Yeah.
Or that's the way it looks from here, of course.
Yeah. So Honey Badger actually using her own pivot to sort of slow down and change momentum.
That's what they're for.
Disposable, expendable blockers, but Cardinal Spin is out of the pack on her initial pass. So Honey Badger going through for her 3rd scoring pass.
Stretching,
and sees the danger, calls the jam.
Yeah, I was looking at it at the same time, and I see a cut track penalty being given there at the last couple of seconds. So that means, look at this, my friends. We're going to have a power jam start for Glasgow, and we're going to discuss it for 2 seconds as well with the official time. Official fix it up, please. That's the jam timer going to the scoreboard to have a little chit chat there.
To make sure that the time is absolutely right on both sides, and that, I think, has been completed. So it's going to be a quick official timeout. Here we go. We're going to get back on track now. So 13 points for Vienna in that last jam, taking them to 170 points. 66 for Glasgow. 23 minutes and change left in this game. So on the jam line, we have 347 Sugar Plum Fury. Oh, and we have another official timeout.
Because, you know, why not? Let's just...
Sugar Plum Fury is like, do I go? Do I not go? Do I go? Do I not go?
Yeah, and that's exciting because let's have a good look now at the back of that wall.
Yeah.
The back of everything.
So Glasgow with just 3 blockers on track.
And a full penalty to be 30 seconds there still for Honey Badger.
Yeah.
So can Glasgow pull a rabbit out of the hat here?
Yeah.
That's the question.
And interestingly, Glasgow's wall did not form. There were 4 people on track, but they were just 4 people on track. However, that has worked for Sugar Plum Fury to come out of the pack as lead, and it's now approaching for points. Get some offense, but unfortunately her offense knocks a Vienna player into her and her to the ground.
Yeah, look, good reform there in the front by Vienna. And we've got 2 jammers on track, so that's going to get interesting. And going for that call off and the ref off.
Yes, so...
Happens.
Yes.
It's all good.
Honey Badger just making sure that caps locks is fine as she is. So that is 5 points to Glasgow, none to Vienna in that game.
And I believe I smell an official review. Yes, we do have an official review being called by Glasgow.
Yep.
I saw the coaches from Vienna going in.
So just while we're in this official review, as we've been saying, this is a tournament, so it is Vienna who is, in the lead of this tournament. But the next game that we're going to have here, which is at 4 p.m. Central European time, and it's 3 p.m. if you've been watching back in the UK, because we like having a different time zone.
I was going to say that. Or in Portugal, if you want to get really flash about it.
But we know that a lot of people in Scotland have been supporting Glasgow Roller Derby and watching from home. Just as
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Just as much as we know there's lots of people in Austria and in Belgium and France watching, and all over Europe, because we
That's why you're here, isn't it great?
We love roller derby. So at 4 p.m. Central European time, we have got Namur Roller Girls up against Lutece Destroyers, and this, depending on this game, so if Vienna win this game, that game will decide who comes second, because both teams have the opportunity to come second. If Namur win, they will be second. If Lutece win by more than 62 points, they will come second.
So there is a reason to watch this whole entire tournament.
There has been a reason to watch this whole entire tournament, because the roller derby has been fantastic.
It has been. It's easy to say it's different than last year, but we had maybe a bit more exotic teams last year. We had someone from America, but let's be fair, it was a team that was just like, hey, let's go to Belgium. They had an extremely tough time points wise, so maybe that was different type of derby to watch. Now we came in here, like you said, teams that were very closely ranked and not coming out at the moment as expected. So all the reasons to watch.
So both Vienna and Glasgow have had great tournaments, coming in as the 3rd and 4th ranked team. And, Vienna coming out in the lead at the moment.
And I'd like to remind you, too, about Glasgow Roller Derby. Way back when they were called Glasgow Roller Girls, a lot of teams changing names, leagues changing names. They were the first flat-track roller derby league to be established in Scotland and the 4th in the UK after other teams, the London Roller Girls, London Rock and Rollers, and Birmingham Blitz Derby Dames. And although they've been playing since 2007, Glasgow have not played at the time of the beginning of the tournament, any other one of these teams.
No.
That's very exotic in my eyes.
And it's been really interesting that Namur and Lutece aren't very far apart from each other geographically, nor Vienna, and there hasn't been a large history. So, as we're getting underway, we have Libby or Die jamming for Glasgow, Italian Stallion jamming for Vienna, and it's Italian Stallion who gets out with lead. Libby or Die still stuck behind the pivot line, and we have the results of the official review, Nasty Moves.
Well, we kind of do. There was an issue about I believe it was one of the jammer that went to the box about were they sitting on time at the start of the jam. I'm very sorry I didn't get any more information, but I can tell you the official review was rejected. It was a complicated one about bums touching chairs. So.
Yeah, nothing changes, so it doesn't matter.
Sorry about that. Tough to get the information sometimes from the floor, but we thank our floor announcers for helping us out with that.
So, as we were saying, Italian Stallion lead jammer on her 3rd scoring pass. Libby or Die has passed the start to number 7, Sarah McMillan, who is out of the pack on her initial pass. And Italian Stallion can see that very well. Is looking to her bench. And Tink there with a very loud vocal call about when the jam was to be called.
They're good at that.
Yeah. So 15 points for Vienna in that jam, taking them to 185 points, 71 to Glasgow, 21 minutes left in this game.
You'll notice too, Vienna, just in that one, I mean, they didn't need to do the thing where they make sure that the jammer gets very tantalizingly close to the pack. They're not doing that. They did that half a track away. They can afford to do that at the moment too. That is also a very different way of calling things off. Official timeout again?
A quick official timeout. There's a lot going on in this game.
I know you're saying that as an official. I can smell that.
I'm so glad I'm not doing penalty tracking.
By the way, I had a quick look at the interwebs, as one does during these tournaments, and there was a discussion, but in a positive way, about the unbelievable pack of penalties that there were in the very first game today of the Belgian champs. Not that that's a bad thing, because so what if it was men's derby, there'd be probably more. But the people doing the box felt like they had a lot of work. Which is what you say when you're doing a tournament. So penalty box, kudos to them for just doing all that paperwork afterwards too, as well.
I mean, the level
keeping everyone safe.
The level of officiating in this tournament has been really high and really consistent, and we're really grateful that people from all over Europe have come here to officiate this tournament. Give up their weekend.
UK, France, Austria. Fantastic.
Pay for their accommodation and come and actually make sure that we're all safe and that we can have games and have points. Because otherwise, without them, this genuinely could not go ahead.
There's even refs that came from another game when they're finished and they're watching. That is cool. They came all the way from Mannheim in Germany because they wanted to see how things were going to pan out and also watch their friends officiate, as you do.
So we're back underway. Show No Mercy jamming for Glasgow, and it is number 91, Spin the Lottle for Vienna. And it's Spin the Lottle who gets out first. There's a pilot from the Glasgow wall, but Show No Mercy has just one Vienna blocker. Gets some offense from Lawless, who then does a huge hit on Mary Demolition from Vienna. But that has let Show No Mercy out. Approaching the pack for points. Spin the Lottle calls the jam.
I was watching Always Ultra being a pivot and just being in everyone's face. Blocking is the right word, but just being an annoyance, and I thought that was working out really, really well. I realized I decided I'm just going to have a look at that for a moment. So they got a little boop on the nose, though, in the meantime.
It's 2 points for Vienna Roller Derby, taking them to 187. On the jam line, we have Moloko Violet up against Cardinal Spin.
Moloko Violet picking up a bit of a run-up. I don't know if that makes much of a difference. Oh, but who's in France? That's going to be Moloko Violet. How does she do it? It's just magic. It's like the blockers are ghosts and they just go through them. It's beautiful. Both jammers are out at the minute. One blocker down then for Glasgow. Oh, that sounds like another penalty for somebody else. Oh, the pivot goes to the box now this time for Vienna.
But Moloko Violet running this jam long, and that has let Spin complete a scoring pass. Both teams with just 3 blockers on track. Moloko Violet just ducking under the arm brace to pick up that final pass.
Sarah McGettigan just went, what happens? That was really like huh? Where'd they go?
How did she squeeze through?
There was an impact, but not an illegal one, where she had to sit down and then go. What was that?
But
a ghost.
Vienna let Glasgow in that jam score 7 points, taking them to 78. Vienna scoring 195 points.
Points for both teams then. Honey Badger up against Stripey.
First time we've seen Stripey with the jammer helmet cover for Glasgow this game.
And however, we did see a lot from her the rest of the weekend. So we're really doing a totally different rotation. Or we're just, that's the way they had planned it coming into the tournament, who knows. But let's see, we're still looking for a lead. In the meantime, there's whistling for penalties.
I think this is the longest we've been without lead in a jam. 30 seconds into this jam, still no lead. But it's Stripey pushing out front, but Honey Badger sneaks out the back and through on the inside line for lead. And it is Stripey on the outside in the pack, making it through.
I thought possibly going handoff to the pivot, but no.
No,
just through.
Stinger Bell going to the box for a forearms penalty. And we have, not surprisingly, as Stripey approaches the pack, that jam gets called. 4 points for Vienna, hitting it and quitting it. 199 points. Less than 18 minutes left in this game.
I think Vienna is on their way to doing good things. Glasgow, though, like you kept saying, only gets a few points here and there. And even when they do get any kind of numerical advantage, any kind of power jam advantage, not able to put a lot of points on the board.
But what we have seen a number of points in their games yesterday, Glasgow's ability to have a second half sort of comeback and close that gap down. They can and have done that. So we're looking for Libby or Die to sort of put some points on the board for Glasgow, especially now as it's a power jam to Glasgow. Italian Stallion being sent to the penalty box in the first few seconds of this jam.
Yeah, that's not common, but it's happening a lot. So there could be a lot of concentration mistakes, which is paying off, of course, for Libby O'Dea, picking up the lead for Glasgow. And it's what you do with the lead that's going to count.
Yeah.
Let's have a good look now.
Yeah.
Now we're coming in for the points.
And Glasgow finally have 4 blockers on track who will be doing offense to get Libby O'Dea through in this power jam.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, but look at that wall from
tight
Vienna.
pancakes. Some nice offense, though.
Yeah. And it
has to be said from Glasgow.
And it is...
Tight.
Yeah, but Stinger Bell has been giving offense and now bridging just to let Italian Stallion to be held at the back. But that's a shame because Stinger Bell has been doing a great job for Glasgow on offense.
Absolutely. And look at how tight, watching front, back,
Yeah.
everyone holding up. Libby is just jammed up, just absolutely jammed up by Vienna right now.
But not giving up.
No, of course not. That's what we like.
Yeah.
Calling it off is not giving. Calling it off is just accepting the situation.
Yeah.
Now, how tight was that Viennese wall then?
Oh lordy, there was no space, and Libby O'Dea was pushing with every fibre of her being, but wasn't able to create a gap. But it is Glasgow who pick up the points in that jam. We're waiting to see how many Vienna. Vienna is just the Vienna jam ref is. Oh, discussing no points for Vienna in that jam. So 5 for Glasgow, taking them to 83.
Well, the coach was discussing with them, so they're not going to change their points. But that is interesting to know that the coach probably said, please watch out. And it is a lead for Show No Mercy.
Yep. Loco Violet, just 2 Glasgow blockers out front and keeps herself on track against that braced push, which is a lot of core strength. But Show No Mercy in the pack for points. Gets hit out, sees Maloko Violet, calls the jam.
It was Bitch Buchanan that got in there, a little bit of elbow work in the good sense of the word. Very short jam again then too. 3 points there for Glasgow, no points.
And we did talk about, like literally 2 minutes ago, you know, Glasgow's ability to sort of close gaps down in the second half, and we're starting to see a bit of momentum go Glasgow's way.
We want to see Glasgow, you know, go towards that 100. That's the psychological mark for the moment. Halfway through this second half, we're going to have Honey Badger against Cardinal Spin, and it's Cardinal Spin for the lead in Glasgow. Again, Glasgow, it's great when you get the lead. What are you going to do with it? Let's have a good look at the team in black and yellow.
Look at the speed of the pack coming round, and that speed has let Honey Badger through a gap, but it's also let Spin through in no time at all. So
Spin is like, what am I going to do with this jam? What am I going to do? They're not going to run it. I'm going to call it out. Yep, no points all around, fists in the air. And yeah, well, listening to your coach, also extremely important part of roller derby, because they see things you don't see while you're on the track.
But again, 4 points for Glasgow, so that's the 3rd jam in a row that Vienna has not scored.
Yeah, and we've had 2 leads, if not, 2 leads in a row. And then Stallion that went to the box. Yeah, that's not good news either.
So it is Glasgow with a bit of momentum, so not surprisingly, Vienna have called for a timeout.
Yeah, I noticed, like you said, like coaches can go, and you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, they can go to refs and say, could you please watch this or do this? They can't tell them what to do, explain this, and then there has to be a reasonable request. I mean, a coach can't come and, pardon the pun, badger the refs about that, but that usually indicates a bit of frustration or a bit of, we wish you'd pick something up, but of course it has to be explained in a proper way.
And also, if you are going to call a timeout and you want to maximise that timeout, you don't want to call it at the start of the 30 seconds, you want to call it at the end of the 30 seconds.
Of course, yeah.
So you go into the infield, you wait until the last possible second, and then you call your timeout. And you do that to make sure that the officials see it in time.
I'm always afraid that they won't see it. You start gesturing, because you can't yell. You have to sit there and just play that sign.
Which is why they go to the infield. They can go right in front of the ref and do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You need to move to the infield. That's a good point. Now, I didn't realize that. I should know that. But then you want to make sure you're not stuck there. If you're stuck there, that I know, you can actually go to the little box where the photographers are. Yeah.
All these things that aren't interesting to most people
are interesting to Nasty Moves
and Dog Mistress. So we have Sugar Plum Fury on the jam line for Glasgow and is out for lead.
Third lead jam in a row for Glasgow.
Yeah.
Oh my, his 3rd time going to be the charm. I want some more points.
And it's Italian Stallion for Vienna, who's stuck on turn 2. Just as Sugar Plum Fury is in the pack for points, but
Sugar Plum has that wall of Vienna. Oh, look, defeated the wall, though. That was beautiful. One blocker down for Vienna in the meantime. And look at what's going on there with Italian Stallion. Is not getting anywhere.
Vienna
Beautiful.
on that last pass, and almost on this pass, not blocking to the line. And that gave Sugar Plum Fury the chance to get through. And again, not, just leaving that little gap
I know
on the outside line.
When you're a blocker and the one who does that, you look back at your foot, like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Then again, that's the way the game is running right now. You need to cover that whole track, ideally.
Yeah. So Sugar Plum Fury on her third scoring pass, but it is Marshall Lawless going to the penalty box as a pivot, and Sugar Plum Fury goes, I've had enough, and the Italian Stallion is about to approach the pack. I'm going to call that jam. But that was 9 points for Glasgow, taking them to 99 points. So this is, 12 points, sorry, over the 100.
Okay, we're over, yeah.
To 102.
Nicely done.
Fourth jam in a row, points for Glasgow, no points for Vienna. So
you called it, yeah, you did. So we have to say this entire game has been very, very different from, just changing up a lot. We're not in a routine at all. Beautiful work off the line from Vienna, and that's going to be Moloko Violet.
Libby or Die almost out of the pack, but hit out at the last second and has had to be recycled. But Moloko Violet, with a hop, skip and a little apex jump, makes it through to complete that 5-point pass. Libby or Die just one Vienna blocker ahead, who's trying to keep up and hits her out, but is in front.
Yeah, that was good chasing, though. That was so good chasing.
But it was great knowledge by Libby or Die that the blocker was still in front and she could just get up and go.
Yeah, that was really, really well. But look how calm she is when she jams, too. I see it very, very controlled. I don't know, something very controlled and calm and good about it. Yeah, team timeout, Glasgow.
Yeah. Again, they're wanting to regroup, and actually, because that's the first jam in 5 jams where Vienna have scored and Glasgow haven't. So they'll be keen to stop any momentum that Vienna might want to build.
Yeah,
I mean,
I still think
timeouts are
Glasgow
incredibly
are great.
tactical.
No, you can do that. You can do that when the other one seems to have like just the run of things.
Yeah.
So you can also do it when you're losing a lot and it's going wrong, or just to change that. And all the timeouts have been used. We even had timeouts that were just used for fun at some point because people were doing so well.
Yeah.
We had a festival yesterday, game with the festival of official reviews.
Yes.
That was something else. We've only had one in this game, for example.
But also in this timeout, it's a chance to thank the production crew who have done a phenomenal job bringing all the action to you. We know we had some technical issues yesterday. They have worked so hard to resolve them.
Absolutely. And, all the equipment, putting this together, dragging it all the way up here to the floor. And, which I still can't believe, but I have to, some of our camera people are also coaching teams this weekend. So they're just all around beautiful people doing hard work.
So have to make sure that we thank them for everything that they do.
Thank you, technical crew. You gave them Welsh cakes?
Yes, I gave them.
And I gave them some stroopwafels. So we're feeding them as well, and that's good. It's good.
So Shona Mercy on the jam line for up against Honey Badger. And both jammers in the pack. Oh no, it is a penalty. It is a forearms penalty for Honey Badger. So Shona Mercy on a power jam and has made it out as lead.
What's up with Vienna's jammers getting weird penalties at the beginning of jams? We've seen that. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. That's a new development.
But I'm sure the team will be looking at the footage when they get back to Austria.
Because their friends are already watching it? Had to say that.
No, because the fabulous production crew will make it available.
Of course. Speaking of penalties, cut track penalty there for Shona Mercy.
Yep, and that has released Honey Badger completed the penalty. Honey Badger with the helmet cover a little bit precarious.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But has actually now got that on fully, but does complete her initial pass.
Yeah.
So we'll be coming round to the pack now, looking for points and looking for some offense from Vienna, and we know their offense can be devastating, and it is again.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Swishing everyone on the outside. We had 2 people doing offense. Oh, and we've got a penalty at the end?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
That was a multiplayer block for Honey Badger, which releases Shona Mercy.
What? That's crazy talk.
Yeah. So Shona Mercy in the middle of that pot, but it is Vienna who have also, both teams have a blocker in the penalty box. Shona Mercy using that confusion to get through and complete her first scoring pass.
For 5 points too, nicely done.
Yeah, So this is now 2 Vienna blockers on track, and she shows no mercy and makes it through for the 5.
Yeah, we have to do that a few times, right?
Yeah.
Honey Badger don't care though. Honey Badger coming in to the back of Nuke, goes to the inside on the tippy toes at the very last couple of seconds. Oh, and does clear an entire pack.
Yeah.
Check them apples out.
Yeah.
For your strudel, 5 points. That brings up lots of totals there. Are we going to add those points up? 9 minutes and 20 seconds left. I'm just waiting for them to update the clock. That is going to be 213 points Vienna Roller Derby has at the moment, and Glasgow with 114.
So, yeah, 9 minutes left. This has been such a fun, thrilling, frantic game to watch. Spin taking that open inside line. And we've seen this a couple of times in the recent minutes from Vienna that they're not covering the lines as thoroughly as they should.
You're saying that too, the blockers, that's not good. Leaving open space there. Cardinal being recycled, pivot down then for Glasgow. And I hear more whistling. That's another, it's going to be a Forums 59. Blocker, going to have a trip there. That's Hadrian's Brawl.
And a Vienna blocker.
What's going on? I don't have time to count them all. People, enough. Yeah, that's syntax.
I think the speed of the pack and the fact that it's not static is just, it's leading to this feeling of franticness.
Yeah, and he's just hitting everything. Yeah. Just moving people out of the way. Look at that. Yeah. There's a hit out that someone just looked like they had to go in the back.
They would look like they were doing artistic roller skating. But, but yes, the pack feels frantic.
Yeah.
And that leads to penalties. Yeah.
And bad decisions, but bad decisions that I've made too, so I don't want to be a hypocrite about that. You're just ping pong, moving stuff out of the way. However, it's the jammers that have to kind of keep cool, even while using all that adrenaline to get through. Italian Styling is showing us how that's done now. Look at that, just kind of twisting off just on one side. Confused Glasgow having a good time, laughing on the track too. Look at that, all the blockers on track. Oh my God, that actually happened.
That was Sarah McMillan with that 1-to-1 block. Team Scotland skater in 2 World Cups. So it has a huge amount of experience. Yeah. So somebody I always enjoy watching on track.
Good to know.
Yeah. And cards. Oh wow.
That was a apex jump. It didn't quite land it, but it was nice.
But it did land
in front of one skater. Yeah. So there was no cut track here.
So it was just the ability to land it, and and just brush off that hit that made me go wow. But both jammers on scoring points as the jam comes to the end. So that's, and we're just looking to see, that will be quite a high scoring jam. 12 points for Vienna, 9 for Glasgow. We're now on 225, playing 123. 6 minutes 50 left to go. And the Glasgow audience are going quite loud at the moment.
Yeah, they found the Belgian beer, I'm sure, in a good way, so that's also good. I just wanted to add to Vienna Roller Derby, the Fear Leaders we mentioned, their teams traveling male cheerleaders, are known throughout the Derby world. They were featured also on BBC. They have their new calendar out, so even if you can't be here to pick it up, if you want to buy a good gift for Derby, go check yourselves out and Fear Leader and calendar, Fear Leaders on Facebook, and find out how you can get one.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we talked to Pandy earlier, and it was lovely just seeing how much you'd enjoyed the Manchester experience.
I saw the calendar, it's lovely.
So, Maloko Violet not listening to us, going through the pack on the inside and completing a scoring pass. Sugar Plum Fury having to call that off to minimise any further damage, but both teams picking up 4 points in that jam.
Yeah, so both teams scoring at the same time then too. Again, we're having strange penalties, sometimes double penalties in one jam. We're playing very differently, but I think it's that last minute scramble that you kind of alluding to just kind of go for broke, I'd say. I'd say the feeling, I'm definitely getting that feeling now from
and also, this is the third game that these teams have played in 2 days. And so,
they know each other by now. They're hopefully good friends.
They're also a bit tired, and, it's coming to the end, and they want to make sure they give everything. And that's when you can see this sort of urgency come around. But it's Libby O'Dye who's outpacing the Vienna blockers. But it is Honey Badger who makes it out for lead.
Yeah, with that outside leg, and then we practice on that, just getting through, and it mesmerizing Glasgow every time.
Yeah, Libby or Die hit to the floor on turn 3 now, but the pack has moved almost an entire lap, but Honey Badger just hopping over. Again, Glasgow not forming a wall. They're split between offense and defense.
They really want to keep doing offense, but it's not paying off for them. However, I was saying that we had a star pass.
Yeah.
That was probably why the pivot was floating around.
Exactly.
McMillan, and like you said, McMillan knows what McMillan should be doing.
Yep.
So coming in for a scoring pass, but yeah, I mean, Vienna is not going to let that happen. Honey Badger don't care, and Honey Badger calls it off.
Yeah. So that was 9 points for Vienna, taking them to 238. 127 to Glasgow. 4.5 minutes left in this game.
So exciting.
And remember, this game is now likely at this stage to decide who is going to be the overall winner of Skate Around 2. So Vienna currently in the lead, so need to complete the win on this game.
And still the fight we're going to see between Lutèce Destroyers and Namur after is going to decide a whole bunch of other things.
Yep. But
Italian Stallion doing it to it.
Yep. So Italian Stallion out for lead, and we have Stripey on the jamming for Glasgow Roller Derby.
On the floor, but happens for the best. Stripey comes out every once in a while, surprises folks. Italian Stallion though, look at that, just taking it easy, making sure they keep it clean and nice.
Yep.
Oh, that was a serious takeout there on Stripey, for which the jam was called off.
Yep.
So we are going to handle the down skater.
Yep, and make sure that Stripey is fine. We have a fantastic medical team who are here making sure that everybody is safe. So going back to what we were saying, you know, with 3 minutes 38 to go in this game and Vienna are ahead by over 100 points, it is now likely that they will win this game.
Absolutely.
And that they will
absolutely likely.
and that they will be the winner of Skate Around 2.
Glasgow, though, coming out with you know, coming out with a really happy weekend. Absolutely, there has to be.
So I think when it comes to WFTDA rankings, both teams are going to get a boost.
Yeah.
I think as on the basis of the results from yesterday and today, you know, Glasgow will come out of this with a higher ranking.
And if all goes well, we're going to have someone in Glasgow here in the interview to tell us about it. And I think that would, you know, to find out, like put the finger on the pulse, as they say, to find out how the feeling was then for them.
Yes, so we did interview them yesterday, but we had technical problems.
Yeah,
and,
as you mentioned.
You know, and so they're you know, what they said yesterday, they're very excited about the tournament. They came into it with a really clear plan of what they wanted to achieve. And they have, you know, overachieved expectations, but so have Vienna. I mean, Vienna have just been, came into this first game of the day through the stats book out of the window with their win against Lutèce.
I like when that happens because it's just makes things different. It's proof that numbers, it just really isn't everything.
Yep. So, you know, we're just talking through what's been happening in this tournament, and that first game, you know, that was a surprise. But then Vienna winning against Namur, a higher ranked team than even Lutèce, was, you know, the other big surprise. Vienna have come in on fire in this tournament, and I think Lutèce and Namur found it quite difficult to change up to how they were playing.
And they do know each other quite well, and they understand each other on the track because they both speak mostly French. Namur having also a lot of different players than they used to, changed around. That can also be said for Lutèce. So, very different teams, quite literally. I
think what we've seen, and the difference is that Vienna have been able to change their tactics against all the other teams.
Yeah,
and I think
well put.
Yeah, and that's why they've been able to take on the very physical Glasgow, and then you look at Namur, who are much more about agility and, you know, very agile jamming, and they've been able to sort of change it up against both of them. And so, you know, that's why Vienna have had such a good tournament.
Yep.
And so this is what I would, the next game, Lutèce versus Namur, is likely now to sort out who's going to come second. I think the winner of that game is going to be the one who can adapt the quickest. I think that's the story of this tournament. Who can adapt to other people's play? Because these are teams that haven't played each other very much.
Yeah,
it's been about how can you learn and adapt in 10 minutes, not half.
And that being that true, that goes out the window again for this game because these two teams have played each other a lot, and that's going to make so that's going to be like the mental game too, like who gets into whose head, who has the endurance to do it, who has the energy to finish that off the right way, and you all have to absolutely watch that. It should be around 4 o'clock Central European time, 3 o'clock for those UK folks.
Yep, and the teams have only met each other, Lutece and Namur, twice, and that was in 2015
Okay.
and 2014.
Fair
so
enough.
they haven't met each other in the last 3 years. So, and we all know 3 years is a whole generation in roller derby.
That is actually a good point. I didn't realize that so much.
So we're back in the action on track. The skater is up and receiving medical assistance. And
So it's all good.
It's all good. So we have Maloko Violet on the track for Vienna, Shona Mercy jamming for Glasgow, and the pack is fast, frantic, and on the apex between turn 1 and 2.
Look at that though, a lot of good blocking going on there by Mary Demolition.
Yep.
To the last second, but yeah, look, Stripey does it. Sorry, Shona Mercy does it, picks up the lead.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that a lot. Maloko able to pick up the leads traditionally. So Shona in charge on this jam, but Maloko in the pack for points as well.
Oh, and the call off quickly enough. However, I have a feeling, I had that feeling Vienna still picks up points because that call off was a bit late technically. Points all around, 4 points though for Vienna and 3 points for Glasgow. Glasgow may be giving a few points away at that moment, but they're very much more concentrated on their own game, on their own team too on the track.
So Vienna on 247 points, Glasgow on 130. We have 2.5 minutes left in this game. And we have on the jam line Honey Badger up against Cardinal Spin. Sorry.
That's really okay. Cardinal Spin in the back. Everyone jammed up. Oh, Cardinal almost getting out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't quite count.
That was perfect blocking from Bitch Buchanan.
Yeah.
With that hit out. But I think Bitch has taken it to the penalty box.
I know. As soon as you say it's a nice hit, it was wrong. I've done that 100% of the time all weekend. 100%. Giving their 100% on the track. Honey Badger with the twist and turn on the inside leg. People should pick up on that at some point. It's a good one. Oh, and nice takeout there by the pivot 42. That's going to be Marshall Lawless.
Yeah.
Recycling Honey Badger. Everyone really getting in the last hits for this game.
Yep. And both teams absolutely playing it for every single point.
Oh, that is going to be one blocker down then for... I thought it was something more severe. There's one blocker down for Vienna. All
Sabotage
the marbles, all
going
the points.
to the penalty box.
Sabotage. We've got the star pass completed to Lawless on the Glasgow side of things.
Yeah.
Going in for a scoring pass.
And Honey Badger, I think, missed Lawless going through because Honey Badger was too busy watching where she needed to come in.
I know, and not what's going on there.
Yeah. So Lawless now round on her second scoring pass, the same as Honey Badger. Both. And
Honey Badger does it for 5.
Yeah. And then
could it be possible?
Sorry, Marshall Lawless.
Marshall Lawless that picked up the star pass, but Honey Badger's going to run it long then.
So Honey Badger finally gets the message to call that jam, but both teams picking up the same number of points in that jam, 9 each. 256 now playing 139. 32 seconds left in this game. We will have at least one more jam.
Yeah, and I think Vienna, I was trying to look at that. I think Vienna, there's that discussion now with the coach. I think Vienna lost the plot a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
Again, they can afford to, but we were kind of wondering because there was no call off and giving 5 points away to Glasgow.
Giving 9 points away to
9
Glasgow.
points, forgive me, yes, absolutely. On a star pass.
Yeah. So Italian Stallion and Fury on the jam line for Vienna and Glasgow. It is Italian Stallion out for lead, and Fury is on turn 1. Vienna now with a blocker in the box.
Italian Stallion getting recycled a little bit and more recycling there. Vienna doing that on Fury, who's doing a bit of a stash, keeping it in their hands. Could confuse the enemy at this point too. Oh, nice takeouts where everyone gets taken out together. Look, Stallion's not able to get through either. Look at that.
Very smart from the Vienna blockers that even though their blocker that hit her out went out, the others went forward to force that, to make sure that there was that she couldn't just skate on.
Yeah.
So smart tactics.
Excellent.
So Fury now scoring points.
Good takeout this time by Viennese wall, and Italian Stallion in the back, getting some offense too. We're getting all jammed up right now.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's beautiful blocking. Great work by the blockers. That has to be said right now, because we are killing time on this jam.
Yeah, and the period clock has ended, so the jam will go on for a maximum of another 37 seconds.
The jam will go on.
Yeah. So this is likely to be the last jam, and we see the star pass completed from Italian Stallion to Always Ultra, and that is Sugar Plum Fury, who...
Sugar Plum Fury wanting is okay.
Yeah, I think just took a big knock, so just taking a breath to make sure that they're okay. And there has also been a star pass from Glasgow to Macmillan, so I think this will go on for the full extra 6 seconds we have left in this game, just as Always Ultra completes a 5-point scoring pass.
Again, scoring on a star pass, lots of star passes, and an unofficial score at the minute.
Just waiting to see if there's going to be any official review called.
Yeah, really, we haven't had a lot of those.
Nope, so actually neither team looking to take the official review. So we are on the unofficial score now of 270 points to 143.
What a game, Dark Mistress. So many different things, different tactics, different changes. I'm not at all routine.
And I really hope that teams across Europe look at the games this weekend, because the strategy and tactics and the way you change things up has been
finesse.
It's been really interesting to watch. So you know, and this result means, as we've been saying, Vienna Roller Derby now are the winners of Skater Round 2. That is the final score, so that is now confirmed. And if you can hear over our mics, Vienna are very happy about it.
They are. They're probably on your screen now. They're happy with good reason.
They've had came in 3rd ranked in the tournament, going out as winners. Glasgow, who also have a lot to be happy about this weekend. They should,
for sure.
They really should be happy about how all of this has happened. And
played really tight, adapted, changed, didn't let themselves be discouraged. All the jammers kept pushing. They didn't care. Early star passes, late star passes, running things long. Bench crew probably did a fantastic job as well.
And some of the feedback that we've had from the NSOs and officials, Glasgow are the politest team that they've come across in a long time. And just having
There's going to be jokes about that on Facebook regardless. Well, they've been very nice to us and very nice to me. And what a pleasure to watch is all I can say.
Yes, so we are hoping to have a post-game interview with Glasgow, because we weren't able to give you the audio on the interview yesterday. So, but again, just at the end of 3 days, and we have our skater already here. So we're going to pass you over to Toxic Lady, and we're going to pass you over to it's Cardinal Spin.
We got Cardinal Spin in the studio. Yay!
Hi, thank you. Want to sit down?
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, this is Toxic Lady. I'm with Cardinal Spin, who just took out her skate after this wonderful game. How do you feel?
I feel good. Yeah, really good. It was a great game. Vienna were fantastic. They were really strong, and they were great opponents. Oh, excuse me.
You had some nice jamming session, leading at the end of the game. We were rooting for you and see how did you feel. How was the coaching going for that?
Oh, it was going really well. Yeah, we're just trying to really throw everything at it. Yesterday we came in and the venue was so unfamiliar, and we played the home team first of all, and it was a really difficult game. The floor is like trying to skate through mud, but then you get used to it and you realize that you can still use your strengths, and so we worked from there. And then going into the second game we felt much stronger, and then today I think everyone really came out burning to do well.
Yes, we could see that even though Vienna took the lead very early on, that you didn't let anything go undecided, so that was very good. How did you prepare for this whole tournament?
Well, we've been I'm sure the same as everyone, we've been training really hard, and we've been Glasgow, I don't know, maybe you know, but a couple of years ago we're way up here doing fantastic. Division 1 playoffs and then took a massive loss with a lot of experienced players leaving. And so we spent like a year really struggling, and then we've been really rebuilding since then, and I feel like we're really getting to a point now where we're much, much stronger. We're coming together, we're having a lot of skaters skating together who are working well together, and it's just about sort of trying to capitalize on that, and we're trying to play the toughest opponents we can find that we can really give a fight to, and that's absolutely what we found this weekend. All of the other teams have been so friendly and lovely, and it's been a total pleasure to be here.
Yeah, that was what I was about to ask you, if you find worthy opponents this weekend. How happy and what did you expect it? Was it all you expected?
Yeah, absolutely. Like they don't hit friendly, but they're beautifully friendly on track, and it's all high fives, and it's been smiles from everyone, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what else is going on for Glasgow in the next few weeks and few months? Maybe what's your next opponents?
Well, we have a break now, and then what we do is we regularly scrim against some of our more local teams, some of which we really struggle with, and it's fantastic training, and some of which we really we've been having great games against, and so we have a lot of training scrims locally, and then so we're going to come into next year upping our level and keeping fighting and trying to push our rankings.
Do you find anything particularly different when you travel overseas to play games?
I think it's more different team to team. Like, we find some teams really don't expect you to hit them, so we hit them, and other teams like are huge hitters and are really used to it, and it's about, we've been trying to get smarter and smarter with how we play our jammers and which jammers we play against which walls, and really using the statistics and using the tools we've been given. Rainy City are super generous with their technology, and it's been just fantastic to be able to get more scientific with our derby play.
Well, perfect. Thank you very much, and congratulations for these very, very exciting games, and hope to see you another time.
And thank you all for your efforts, and thanks to Namur for a brilliant tournament.
Yes, thanks for Namur. Thank you.